All right, good afternoon, cyber traders. Welcome on back this Thursday, March 23rd, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I got Milton still here with us at least. We got Milton, got Franny, got Chuck, and Michael, and perhaps a couple more of us just still with us here or just joining us back right now. Leda, Lawrence included, loud and clear from them. I'm good to go then across the board, at least inside our live trading room. For all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Great to have you back as well. Markets are plunging. I love this type of day. Why? Because it gives us the chance to prove one of our favorite points here at Cyber Trading. Just because the markets are dropping off, that does not stop us from going long. That does not stop us from trying to follow the smart money on the way up for a couple of trades. Obviously, a bunch of stocks are going to be tailing it with the SPY, with the S&P, Coinbase being one of them we just showed a moment ago, and a couple of others. But, hey, note Fiscal Note Holdings. This stock ended up making a huge pop earlier. And, normally with these like low volume or cheap kind of stocks that we're not as familiar with, you gotta have it like gain your trust a bit, right? Have a good spread, good liquidity, make a strong break over a big level. Well, the stock ended up making a big pop, but pulled back, and then it ended up actually breaking over a huge iceberg order. I do want to show a book map just for that if I could. Give me a quick moment here. Make sure I'm good to go across all ends here. Uh, Give me a quick sec. I'd even put it back up on my book map right now. It was right off the price 239. Obviously, that line that you see on my chart there, it ended up popping it right at this point, ended up launching up pretty nicely. Then from there, it ended up providing as a key support. So it's interesting. Actually, looking at the book map for this page, this looks like this looks like a nightmare to read. But if you see what I see right there, wow, I guess for myself, and really, I didn't know it broke down this way. This looks like an ugly book map here. So it's tough to decipher, tough to read. This was like perfect timing to see this here. And that was actually on the matrix. That was on level 3 here, actually. So not even on level 4 did you need to see that. But it was just right from the book viewer, right from the trade station matrix here. And from that point, resistance became support. And that's what led to a nice jump back up. But hey, for right now, it's actually beginning to pull back here. So let's see it continue to make higher lows. This note trade ended up dropping off quite a bit from like midway of last year, from like 12 or 11 bucks all the way down to sub 2, perhaps sub 1 even. So like a 90 to 95% drop off there at that point. All-time low. I mean, from yesterday, we could even go as far as 131. Wow. So, yeah, this thing ended up having a big short squeeze. Let me just double check Benzinga Pro. We have class ahead, folks. Keep that in mind. The phase 1 stock course concluding today, finishing up at 3:05 Eastern time. We're going to be talking all about shorting. So, probably not going to be following this stock at least. But with that said, definitely a good class ahead, talking about the mechanics behind shorting, just really how a short operates to begin, even before the entry discussion of it. So, what's the news out on this note stock here? Quick note: Fiscal Note shares trading higher after the company announced it was selected by OpenAI for collaboration as an inaugural launch partner for OpenAI's ChatGPT plugin. That's a mouthful for 2 days post-op on wisdom teeth. So, there we go. Been talking all day, actually, just getting back into the groove. But for all of us on social media, that's the news out on the stock. Note, this drop off here, though, here right now is pretty ugly. So the run might be done on this trade here. It's got to definitively hold support from that iceberg level at 239. Now, what makes 239, that area, actually pretty decent as well, not just that one little iceberg level, it's actually the VWAP price, conveniently enough. For all the shares traded today, this is the average price them. This price level here, right off 245, is the CVP price, where we've had more volume traded off of that price, 245, than anywhere else. So I'd probably say the combination of them both. If it could hold over this, then there's still a trade. If not, then I would look to even scrap it from this main list. For now, it makes the cut, but let's go from top to bottom. Perhaps we'll even come back to this one just here at the tail end. DHHC, I assume. I don't know if this is a buyout. I'm going to assume it is. I don't know. I got halted a few times going up, flattened out. Boxed. This stock actually we followed in the past. I don't know if they've done a reverse split since, but yeah, I think they have, actually, just looking at this drop off here, because they weren't like 10, 12 bucks back then. So yeah, this stock just got clobbered over time, but we've traded this in the past. Former runner, just way too cheap for us right now. If it was like right at the highs or running up extremely fast in the moment, maybe I'd consider. But yeah, this Jaguar trade we are also pretty familiar with. I think the stock also did a reverse split of sorts, but hey, kind of comparing apples to oranges here, right? I just said it before in the other one. This one here, a Jaguar, I'll put on our list for sure. Nice pop running up right now in front of us. A bit of an order out there on the ask off of 130 for about 13,500 shares. I don't have Bookmap open for this. We got to move quick here, folks. So definitely a good looker. Nice level one stock. Even if it flattens out a little bit more here coming up, that's all right. We got plenty of time left for this trade to continue to hold and then break higher. So, yeah, good one start here. Big 30,000 share buy print coming in off of 117. Hint for all of us inside the phase one class earlier today. Catch that live. Quick draw McGraw right there. I was about to move on to another trade there. I just saw that from the corner of my eye. Like, ooh, pretty nice catch. So let's see if there's more volume over that price level. Now AMPX, we keep going here quick. So AMPX, don't get me wrong, it's at the highs, but the order book is ugly. If I were to load up Bookmap, it would probably be even uglier than the other one. So I'm going to pass on it. Don't need to put it on our list really. All right, what else we got here? SMX, nice little pop from before. That's why I'm more reluctant to put this back on our list here for the afternoon because it's done nothing since. It looks like it's trying to get back up there, so it could be kind of like luring us in. I'll come back to this at the end if anything. SMX, tradable, of course, low risk if anything, but I just feel like it's not likely. I don't know. GBIO, this one's still holding near the highs and definitely checks out as far as volatility goes and order book liquidity for the most part. Bit of a spread, but we'll see if there's any major level coming in off of 5 here soon. Doesn't really seem like there was a lot of volume filled there from the morning session, so that's obviously compared to what's below there at 480, 485, 90. So throughout consolidation, but let's see if it ends up holding once again off a false breakout on 5 on GBIO. Definitely, I'll put this on our list here. We got 3 so far. We got the Note, the Jaguar, and then this one here. All right, keep it pushing. ETMB, nice trade once again today, right? This one was from the morning yesterday, dumped off. I mean, I'm pretty thankful I moved away from it early on. I didn't really do much on it yesterday. I didn't do much on it today even, actually. But today provided a much more tradable move, a much better move. Easy to say looking at the trend that it made, don't get me wrong. But, looking at the order book as a whole, we were following this heading into the mid-morning. Before class, we were calling it out. So it was pushing back up again, and we caught this one early on. And thankfully, it provided that chance for us there. So it ended up just holding where it could have reversed or pulled back heading into 11, 12 o'clock Eastern time. Even now, it hasn't totally tanked just yet, pulled back a bit off the last set of highs. But, hey, if you did well in this stock earlier today or yesterday, then you certainly know who you are. Then you should put it on your personal list. And I say that in a good way, right? But if not, though, then let's just see what else we got. Cosmo, this thing has been like a tease for us ever since. If I zoom back it down or out on the daily chart, where was it from? Back year it had to have been. You could obviously just see from 286 opened up 385, hit a low of 286, closed at 2301. That was a real move that we actually caught back at the end of last year. So since that time, the stock has been a bit of a tease since. So nice run from the morning session. I'll kind of write it down for the side list here for now, at least. All right, back to Riot. Big shout out actually to Carla. I want to get to the FRC trade in a moment. Nailed it. But the Riot trade we were going over on a coaching call earlier today too. And I was looking for this to pull back closer, at least towards that white line and blue line there, 912 and 9. Just didn't get there, so I'm not in it. Didn't take the entry, but ended up topping off just now off the resistance that we were focused on earlier as well, right off 957, 963. Told her just a moment ago, wouldn't shock me if it would make a false breakout, but maybe later on it could make the better push. Well, since that time, it's only been dropping off more. So the more it drops off, the less interested I become in. So had a nice run today. My stance on these crypto stocks already at this point. They never really make as good of a move. We'll get to Coinbase action in just a moment there. It's on the loser side. I feel like we all are familiar with what's going on with Coinbase, at least with the Wells report that was announced against them on them. So, we'll see what's ahead, at least with Coinbase against the SEC. But Hey, that doesn't stop Riot from making a big move up 15+%. Actually, on a down market here, it's still kind of holding pretty nicely. So, again, I'll kind of put it for the side list right now. Maybe just check in on it one last time, but there probably are better trades here that we can kind of focus on. ONON. It's actually easy to borrow the stock. I didn't realize that. Nice little drop. BKKT from earlier, another crypto-related stock, and hey, having another good move up over 9% still. Open, not much there. All right, we'll hop over to the loser side. Hey, I had to do my job, folks. I had to go from top to bottom on the gainers list first, but obviously a lot more is dropping off here with the market, I'd imagine. So, let's see if there's any shorts that we could follow here for class, right? I'm sure Milton's following one right now. Laser just broke the iceberg he was calling out. So let me take a look at that as well here coming up. All right, so getting a couple water breaks in between, but RBOT, it's actually down over 30%. It seems tradable in both directions. It is easy to borrow on TradeStation for me. I never really like to short a stock that's getting closer and closer to the ultimate ground floor because just opportunity cost makes no sense. Hey, figuratively and literally, right? But with saying that, at least perhaps there could be some sort of dead cat bounce where it can maybe break over VWAP here at 161 and pop. For right now, ultimately, I'm just going to find better trades here, perhaps on the way down. I mean, hey, SCYX actually could have been a very good trade in hindsight. That's Captain Hindsight comment there, but hey, it just goes to show there could be an opportunity. Square from earlier today, we saw this after the market opened up, or at least when Fausto was doing the meeting. Then we focused in on more on it afterwards. So this one's dropping off pretty nicely. You'd looking at the chart, but hey, if I were to even complain about this one too, for a $61 stock, I just feel like this could be dropping off a lot faster. Not to say better, because this really is pretty steady of a drop off. Slow and steady may win the race, but I feel like the SPY's dropping off faster than Square is. So there could be just better opportunities here on the way down than this. Maybe even check in on a more expensive stock that's dropping off a lot faster, like AMD. Look at that. I mean, not a bad move in relation. Now, if we're kind of comparing those two, may as well get right to Coinbase. Just check in on Coin here. Even this, not making the greatest move on the way down just yet. Dropped off more from the pre-market heading into the open, squeezed up with the other crypto stocks at first, grinded up with the market there too. And, pulling back, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's, worth a shot if you're following Coinbase day to day. If this is your bread and butter stock, then again, like I'd said before, like, you know who you are and you could put that on your personal list. UEC, another potential short opportunity, right? Like, it's hard to ignore a couple of these, right? UEC, the only issue on this, like, it's just for, oh man, I got a little something for everything. It's like I'm Seinfeld, right? But no, really, like, this stock is almost too liquid. This thing just, hey, it's going to be tough. If it breaks below this 75 or 80 plus thousand shares, yeah, maybe there's a chance for it to drop off a little bit more, but there's just a lot here otherwise for it to try and buckle through in order for it to make that better, more opportunistic short that you'd want to see. So not too little, not too much. It's got to be just right. Let's see what else we got here, though. Otherwise, probably some other stocks that aren't down that like 9-10% that are like really still dropping off pretty steady. Let's get to FRC because, again, big shout out to one of my students, Carla. She killed it on this trade. Got in right off the 12.18 level, a few pennies above it. But, we came off a coaching call, and as soon as we had finished up, it actually set up for like a really good move for us to take. And her in particular, she got in right off 12.21 and sold a penny or two underneath that iceberg order there at 12.70. If I were to show that really quickly on Bookmap just for all of us here, a little free EDU right now, you could just clearly see the iceberg order here at 12.69. That is. It was for about like 50 plus thousand shares, if I'm not mistaken. Hell of a lot more actually than that. 121,000. So pretty good eye to just see that and just get out, take the money and run. About a 60-cent profit roughly, right? So even on like a couple hundred shares, that's a pretty solid day's pay, or getting very close there at that, just on one move. Now at this point, obviously she's looking great because this thing just backed right off and it's right back below our entry price, below my level here, 12.18. Don't get me wrong, this could actually be a pretty good short heading into the close too. Between this and the PAC W trade, PAC W, pretty much at the lows here, pretty much. Yeah, I'll put this on our main list as a short in particular. PACW. Check out Key Bank. This one's hightailing it on the way down here. So absolutely Key Bank looking great as a short. WAL, I feel like we're not going to be able to get the shares to short that compared to the other two, but don't get me wrong, it's dropping as well. Let's get to Milton while we're at it, just looking at the chat board and Leda as well. Laser just broke below an iceberg order. That was from earlier, but at least he was calling it out from before. Yeah, it's dropping a little bit there, Milton. Good side list stock. I'm sure that you're going to continue to trade it among maybe one or two others, but there could be a lot that looks like this. You know what I mean? Just that has that potential. Don't get me wrong, it's tradable. It's tradable. Lita says Deutsche Bank dropping off now. This as well is a really nice drop. This is a sharper drop that I feel like could become as volatile, if not even more volatile, of a trade heading into the afternoon. Whether it breaks lower or not, that's actually a pretty sharp trade, at least so far. So I'll put DB on our list here too. It's hard to borrow for me, but if you can get the shares to short it, then definitely go for it. All right, so folks, right now, I think that's pretty much all I see. That's all I got in the chat board right now. Let me know if there's anything else otherwise on social, on YouTube or Facebook Live right now. Let me know if there's any stocks that you'd want me to look at. Post my email there in the chat board early, just across the board, josh@ctutrading.com. Any questions that you have or trades that you want to go over, feel free to shoot me a quick email for all of us on social, for all of us inside the live trading room. Well, I'm a little bit more direct with you folks, and just private chat me right there, and I'll be able to work with you on the side, or otherwise just talk to you in class, right? All right, just going to take a quick look otherwise, real quick skim otherwise, just through some side list plays here, like AAL dropping off. It could be possible. Neo's like kind of inching down, not doing much there actually. Uh, Check out a casino stock like MGM. Hey, pretty move, right? Liquid order book, it's tradable. Like there's going to be a lot that looks like this. I want to find something that's down a little bit more percentage wise that is at the lows, just like MGM at least. Shopify, just trying to think off the top of the head right here. NCL Leach right now. I think that pretty much sums it up here for right now, folks. Got AMD. AMD's dropping off pretty well. I could put this on our list. Let me go through the ones I wrote down on the side here, wrap up. You got the UBC not going anywhere. SMX, it's just my belief. I don't think this is likely to make as big or as good of a move compared to the morning. If I'm wrong with that, then hey, I have a little egg on the face there, but I feel like it's not going to push. Well, we know what happens here. Cosmo's done, and then Riot pulling back too. So, Riot, I don't think that we could short. I'd pass on that. Let's jump back to Coinbase while we're at it one more time. Yeah, Coinbase dropping off pretty nicely here. It looks like it finally broke below support from the chart, but it's still got a smash under 65 pretty cleanly. So I'm not fully sold on like a really big drop off on Coinbase from this point now. It might continue, but for that 2, 3, 4 point drop off, that I don't think that we're going to get that here today. All right, folks. So otherwise, I look forward to seeing all of us coming up in class. T-minus about like 18 minutes before we begin. 3:05 Eastern time. We'll start. Again, we'll talk all about shorting. So pretty good time for this class with the market drop off, at least here. If we get continuation, it'll be pretty nice to see some good opportunities for us to even follow live. All right. So I look forward to it. And again, for all of us in social media, if you are interested in joining our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream right there to get yourself set up, to get yourself started. But otherwise, we'll catch back with everyone tomorrow morning. Take care.